Hello, team. Welcome to another weekly sales meeting. We've got a loaded lineup, a lot to cover today. Obviously, coming off a big week last week with the 1.26 rollout. So we've got a lot of enhancements and big things to talk about today during our weekly sales meeting. So I'm going to get started and talk about everything that we've been doing here for 2.5 years. But really, right now, we're at the core transformational point where for the last 2.5 years, we've been building the business. Now, what does that mean? That means getting to scale. And the importance is sometimes people are building a business and scale's never going to happen. They're not building it for scale. They think like they have this dream that they're going to get to scale, but the reality is like they're just chipping away, and that's not how you get to scale. Either you build a business with a foundation that's going to get to scale, and you go through the pain of having infrastructure that you need to carry in order to support that business. And we did that for 2.5 years. We built the foundation. We invested in the infrastructure. We were building our brand before we were worried about revenue generation. That gives you a sign of where our heads are at. We weren't focused on getting the first loan. We were focused on, hey, brand in market takes 4 to 5 years to get the level of adoption and engagement that we know it takes. Let's start early. So like we did that across the board: recruiting, onboarding, culture, vision, values, technology, you name it. And all of those investments were to get to the point where you get to a certain level of scale where you're profitable. And then once you get to profitability, it's time to dial in the business. It's time to get totally locked in. And that's exactly where we are and have been here going into the end of this quarter, is dialing the business, making sure the financials are in line, making sure that the processes are getting dialed in. And all of those things are investments. All of those things are focused on 2025, 2026, 2027. We aren't looking to win the next 2 quarters. We're going to, because that's just what we're doing, and that's how we operate as a team. But at the end of the day, the focus has been 2026, 2027, 2028. I want to make sure you're not stressed and having work-life balance issues when we're in a refi boom because you got 50 loans but no support. Like, we're building the scalability to put you in a place where you are ultimately scalable. So just, we've got to focus on understanding like today's pain is all about tomorrow's winning. Most people aren't willing to go through the pain today. Most people are so short-term focused. They're like, hey, if I lose $1 or if I don't even make this much money, I'm not willing to show up. Like, that's mercenary mindset. That's the people that don't build scalable businesses. The people that understand that you got to give a lot and you got to go really, really far before you become a championship organization, before you're able to be the company that is winning at the ultimate level. And those are the investments we've made. So as we go through this transformation, it's going to hurt. We're stretching, we're pushing ourselves. We're going to experience things that are uncomfortable. There's never a time where discomfort means you're losing. Anytime you are uncomfortable, anytime you are in a position where you're pushing yourselves, on the other side of that is improvement. And that means better loan officers, better salespeople, better relationships, better processes, better team members, better leaders, better organization. So mindset, today's loss leader, people that are investing today, getting, short-term, going backwards when it comes to dollars and cents, long-term, winning the value game, winning the scalability game, winning long-term. That's where our mindset is: dominate long-term. So I want to talk about that a little bit with our 1.62 project, obviously big project. So first of all, want to give a big shout out, Dave Higgins, Michael, Chris, the entire business innovation team, the entire, all the operations leader, all the operations team members, everybody, the UMortgage 2.0 team, everybody that's been involved with this. This has been a team effort across the board. And it's a heavy lift. Like before, I came in here on Sunday thinking, Sunday, 100 degrees out, everybody's probably, doing their thing. And Dave Higgins is in here for the whole day, getting prepared for the week, invested to make sure we're set up for success. So I want to give a big shout out to the team. Great job. We appreciate everything you're doing. On the other side of this, we're going to be a much better organization. We're going to have a process that's scalable. So thank you. For everybody that's involved, understand the game, the rules of the game. Okay. We're going to have one process, one set of rules, and one consistent experience. Okay. So, we talk about this a lot. You look at professional sports, Tom Brady doesn't get his own rules, and then this quarterback over here gets a different set of rules. Everybody's got to play by the same rules. Everybody gets the same set of downs. Everybody's got the same amount of time. That's the nature of the game. Okay. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it one way. Everybody's going to stick to it. So this week, we've obviously, we're in our pilot phase. We're expanding the number of people that are involved in it. And as we go through it, it's natural. When people are, dealing with, any level of change, they're going to be resistant. They're going to be reluctant, but we're not going to bend. Okay. Like that's the biggest thing is we're not bending. Okay. Like the process has to be rigid. Okay. The process, in order for it to be scalable, it has to be rigid. Things that are scalable, think about everything at national scale that's really high quality. It takes a rigid process. It takes consistency, one process, one client experience, one set of rules, okay? So, just understand, as we go through this, it's gonna take 90 days for us to go through this transformation. And while you're going through it, you're gonna feel that discomfort. And we're not gonna respond to the groans of discomfort, okay? Like people are, this hurts, this is uncomfortable, I gotta do a little bit extra work. I'm on the road, I can't do that. Okay, well, when you get off the road, you can do it then. Like, we're not gonna change. We have to focus on the outcome. Long-term focus, scalable process. Today you got 5 loans, 2025, when we're in the middle of a refi boom, you got 30, 40, 50 loans, you're gonna really be happy that you went through the discomfort today for the scalable process that rewarded you to be able to have work-life balance, great client experience, predictable day, and loans closing every single day on time the way you wanted. So it's a team effort. Everybody's uncomfortable going through this. Our processors, our loan coordinators, our post-closers, like nobody likes going through change. But we're doing it because we're long-term focused. We're focused on where we're going to go. And we have to just remind ourselves, okay, it's all about where we're going. 2025, who are the companies that scaled in 2020 and 2021? UWM and Rocket, okay? Why do they scale? Because they are rigid processes. They don't let their loan officers, they don't let their customers dictate the process to them. They have one process. They do it always the same way. That allows them to go from 1 to 3 very quickly. We're going to go from 1 to 10 very quickly, but I need your buy-in. So when you're going through the pain, remember this, take a deep breath and just know I'm getting better, meaning you're getting better. We're getting better as a team. And at the end of the day, the client experience is going to be exceptional. Stick with it. The process is going to work. Just get through this initial period of time. So last thing before I hand it off here to Todd is coach the approach. I've been saying this over and over again because I want to get people's mindsets through this. Telling somebody what to do is not coaching, okay? And by the way, most people don't like to be told what to do. So I spent a lot of time last week with the operations team, a lot of time specifically with the processors, and I got some, I got a lot of feedback, a lot of conversations, and the opportunity right now as an organization, this goes for both sides, processors, operations team members, and loan officers, is coach. Processors, you know how to do your job. That's why you do what you do, okay? If you're here, you know what you're doing, and you're an expert, okay? When you know the way that something needs to go down, coach the approach. Share the feedback. Hey, Mr. Loan Officer, you've sent me 9 messages today on updates on files. Like, we got a process, check the notes. If it's on the notes, it didn't happen. Like, we know that's where we go for updates, okay? I'm not your personal concierge. I got to focus on my 30 loans and closing loans for our clients. So check out the notes, coach the approach, okay? Help them understand. It's not about this loan. It's about the big picture. It's about what we're doing as a team. It's about a scalable process. You can't be sitting there pretending to be customer service when you're trying to deliver a great client experience to the consumer. And vice versa, loan officer, help coach the approach. If you're seeing something communication-wise, expectation-wise, that could be enhanced, coach the approach. Let the processor know how, a certain communication might make the client feel. Provide the insight, provide the depth. Don't just say, you're not doing a good job. Don't just say, don't do this. Like, we got to be better than that, okay? We got to invest if we want the outcomes that we hope to have. So coach the approach is all about making the team better, is all about making the experience better, and it's all about coming together and understand. It takes a little bit of time to get better, but that time will translate over time. So I'm going to hand it off to Todd. I'll be back shortly.
Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you today about mindset. So a couple weeks ago, I was at an event out in Vegas for loan officers, and the speaker on stage at that point brought up something and said, hey, if you've lost confidence or are discouraged in your careers over the last 17, 18 months, raise your hands. I was looking around expecting maybe 15, 20 people to raise their hands. Turns out 90% of the crowd, and this is for the speaker's estimate, which is over 450 people, raise their hands. I was blown away. That means that over 450 out of 500 people in that audience felt like they have lost their confidence or they just are discouraged with over the last 17, 18 months of their career. We're not having that problem here at UMortgage because we focus on the things we can control. We have the mindset that control the controllables, the uncontrollables such as interest rates, inventory, all those outside white noises, as I call them, they're there for everybody. So, hey, focus on what you can focus on, which is reaching out to your realtor partners, giving them good advice, giving them valuable educational pieces, just bringing value to them. And the call to action today, I would say for our team members is this: call 5 to 10 realtors today. Ask them, what can I do for you today? Not what they can do for you, but what can you do for them? Because right now, the real estate market is hurting us just as much as some of the loan officers out there are. But we're still winning here at UMortgage because we focus on what we can control. And if you're watching this and you aren't a member of our team and you are feeling discouraged, give me a call. Check out tomorrow. We have our weekly discovery call to tell you about UMortgage and what we have to offer and why we're growing every single month in a market when others are shrinking. Because quite frankly, our hands aren't raised. Our hands are down at our computer keyboards working and winning every single day. So get out there, find a way to control what you can control, and ignore the white noise of interest rates and inventory and all the negativity that others are spouting off. And don't be that person raising your hand in that crowd saying you've lost confidence, because we have not lost any confidence. We're more confident than we've ever been here at UMortgage. And I'm excited to lead this team and just be part of it. And again, if you're not part of our team, give us a call.
Hello, my name is Jessica Eddy, and I'm with the Ohio Valley Mortgage Group. We are located in the Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio area. And today I would like to talk to you a few minutes about marketing and what it's done for my business. One thing I can say about UMortgage is that the marketing department is top notch. They are able to provide us with so much material that one thing I always encourage the new loan officers getting on with UMortgage is to make sure to check out the marketing hub. And the daily sales content that they provide is just second to none. So I utilize the marketing content from UMortgage in my stories, along with on my Instagram and Facebook. Occasionally on LinkedIn are my social media choices currently. So, but one thing that I have found recently with the social media, with the daily content that's provided, is with Instagram. I don't just use that in my content for my daily post, but I also use them in my stories as well. So a lot of times you can post the picture in the image in the story, and then also I will copy and paste the verbiage into the story too. And that has seemed to get a lot of viewership with that. Also, I have realtors that will share my stories. So one thing when an agent or a former client will share my story, then I always reshare their story back onto my story too, just to gain more followers, get more attention that way. Another way that I use social media is with my closings. So I do attend all of my closings, and that is something for me that has always been a vital part of my business. It's a time where we can go and celebrate the occasion of a smooth transaction and get in front of the listing agent, as well as continuing to develop the buyer's agent's relationship. At those closings, I like to celebrate it. I have a sign, and we just make it very personable with the passing on of the keys, and for all parties involved, it's just a great time. And I will post those closing pictures on social media. I tag my buyers, I tag the realtor partners. I will mention the title companies, and just for greater algorithms, more exposure. But a lot of times too, my clients are also giving me kudos, and they're sharing the posts, they're sharing the pictures that I send off to them after the closing. So that is something that is very vital to my business in particular, just something that I really focus on. Another thing too is just making sure with social media that I stay top of mind with my stories and always supporting my realtors. So if they have a listing that they have recently posted about a house that has gone live, I'm automatically sharing that to my stories in particular, just because a lot of my clients, they take a look at the stories. when people are, unfortunately, even when they're sitting at a stop sign, a stoplight, sitting, waiting for food at a restaurant, you can see people constantly scrolling. And a lot of that is through the stories. And so for us as loan officers, that is basically free advertisement. And so if I can get my agents more recognition and support them through that. And then also it's constantly staying top of mind to my clients, to my agents, to former clients who share with their family and friends. So social media for me is a big part in that. And then lastly, the other thing that I'll just touch on is when it's birthdays or anniversaries, a baby being born. I just had a client where her grandmother passed away over the weekend. Definitely sending congratulatory posts or even messaging them. I take those, I will say happy birthday every day when I get up. That's one of the first things I do is in my morning routine is I check and see whose birthdays is it today. I will send them a message and just wishing them a happy birthday. And then also if there's any sympathy cards that need to go out, in addition to the message that I send, but I use Facebook in particular as a means to, if I need to send out a baby gift or a congratulatory gift, a sympathy card, things like that. It's just another form to create community with your clients. And it's not just about the transaction, it is about doing life with your clients. And for me, this is just an integral part to continue to create the relationship, not just the transaction. If you ever have any questions with your marketing, prior to my days of becoming a loan officer, I was in marketing, and it's something that I absolutely enjoy and love doing, and I'm just making it very relatable to my clients. If I can ever help you with any questions that you might have in regards to that, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help you with that as well. So thank you for your time.
Hey everybody, this is Chad Curtin coming to you from Cincinnati, Ohio. So today I'm going to talk about how to stay consistent with prospecting new business while maintaining your pipeline. So as a loan officer, we get paid when the loan closes, right? So as you're adding loans into your pipeline, it's really important that you're, getting them to the finish line. That's how we, feed our kids, right? So it's very natural to really load up your pipeline, focus on that, and then take your eye off of prospecting. So what that's going to do is that's going to cause a roller coaster effect. Having a big month, having a low month, big month, low month. Those of us that have been doing this a long time understand exactly what I'm talking about. So by focusing on prospecting every day, that's going to eliminate that up and down. So one of the things that I like to do is to focus on coming up with a goal. Okay, so if you have a funding goal of 7 units per month, how do you get there? You get there by focusing on how many leads it will take on the front end to get to your funding goal. So if you don't know what your conversion pull-through ratio is, just use 20%. So the example we're using, 7 closings, that means you're going to have to get 35 leads per week. So if you're always focused on the 35 leads, you're going to change your mindset. That's going to change your habits. Okay. So first, you're going to track every morning how many leads do you have? So we look at 3 things on my team every morning. First thing that we do, how many leads do we have so far this week? How many leads do we have this month? And what pace are we on? The pace is important because it tells us, are we on track for what our goal is every week? Okay. So if you're doing that, it's going to change your mindset and change your priorities. Another really good way to focus on making sure that you're not doing too many pipeline items is to track everything that you're doing. So what I do is you look at your Outlook calendar or however you schedule your days. Hopefully you're already doing this, but schedule out every minute, every hour of every day. Okay. And then you're going to categorize those into one of 3 different items. Purple is going to be anything personal. So this is picking up the kids from soccer practice, going on a date night, whatever it is that you're doing personal. Red is going to be calculating DTI, looking at tax returns, structuring a file, locking a loan, okay? And then green is going to be meeting with an agent, meeting with a client, making phone calls to your TBDs, anything along those lines where you're prospecting, okay? So then you're going to look at the calendar for the whole week and see how much green, how much red, how much purple do you have in there. It's a really good time, a good way to kind of show the balance and make sure that you're consistently focusing on prospecting. And then how do I evaluate this? It's really important when you have a goal that you are tracking that goal, and then you're keeping up on, are you on pace to hit that? So I really look at tracking on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Okay, you can't accomplish, your 7 closings just by looking at one day, and you can't get there in one day either. So you have to look at the entire month of a goal, but you have to break it down into what is actually needed each day to get to that goal. My call to action is everybody take their calendar, fill it out every hour, look at what you're doing, put it in there categorized as purple, green, red, and then you're going to see where you're spending your time and maybe change some of your habits. Again, this is Chad Curtin. Thanks so much for having me on.
Hello, Matthew Garcia here with the Denver UMortgage branch, and the topic I'm discussing today is real estate agent building. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and what I have found very successful is visiting real estate agents at their open house. Stop into an open house and bring something of value, whether it's a rate sheet, what rates you have to offer. Talk to them about loan programs that you have to offer that may differ you from their lenders that they use. But just be open with them. Just talk to them about who they are using for their clients and who they recommend, to reach out to, and see what benefits they offer. See if their lender is even offering rate sheets or open house flyers. And try to do a comparison of, hey, if you have a lender out there that is offering X rate, this is the rate that I'm offering, and kind of compare the two. But also some other things that you could, give that real estate agent is, let's talk about what areas you're looking at farming. Are you looking at farming and listing other homes in the area, and how many homes have you sold? Are you more of a buying agent? Are you more of a listing agent? If your focus is more on being a listing agent, let's farm out an area. Let's look at homes that are hot in the area that have the potential to sell, and let's get some sort of drip campaign where we could get mailers out and start focusing on those potential sellers, so that way we could go ahead and get you more business. So it's not only about asking for the business, it's also it's all about seeing what you could do to help them build their business. So what I recommend doing is just doing the open houses and finding out other ways that you could genuinely connect with that real estate agent. So my call to action would be to reach out to your real estate agents and see if maybe you can host some sort of open house with them, or if you can do a first-time homebuyer seminar and be a presenter at one of their first-time homebuyer seminars, talk to the clients or talk to the audience about what you have to offer, loan programs you have to offer, and your experiences and how you handle your business. So reach out to your real estate agents, talk to them about scheduling those meetings, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, team. We're going to wrap up here. We got 2 more things to cover here before we wrap up. So first, I want to talk about create strong communities. Obviously, one of our core values. Really, really important that everybody understands that, we all play a role. So, this week we have daily sales huddle. Hey, Todd's traveling. We have Dave Savage on the daily sales huddle. I, reach out to Justin now and say, hey, can you moderate today? Todd's traveling. It would be great if you could step in. I know you use Mortgage Coach. No problem. I got it. Does an amazing job. Like, he's making a contribution. He's part of the team. All of these things are part of the team. All of these, whether it's responding to an underwriting scenario, whether it's sharing a marketing idea, whether it's, coming on the weekly sales meeting and giving your playbook to the team and putting thought into how you present it so people can actually translate it into what they're doing, it all adds up. And that could also be engaging in other people's social content and encouraging them to continue to do what they're doing. Like, all of these little inches add up. And that's the momentum that creates a great team, that creates a great community. That momentum over time is what's going to differentiate. That's what's going to make UMortgage special. We're not building an org, we're building a community. Everybody's focused on helping the whole get better. So, recently Caden Willard got promoted. He is now the head of programming. So when we think about things like daily sales huddle, when we think about trainings that we're doing, market minute update, and weekly sales meeting, all these different things, like if you have an idea, if you have something you'd like to present, or if you have something that you think would be useful to the broader audience when it comes to training, coaching, featured speakers, like share it with Caden. We want to make sure we're doing what we need to do to help everybody get better. I had a meeting with our onboarding team earlier this week. Again, another great group of people. We've really focused on onboarding over the last, really all year. As we've gone through the process of learning how important onboarding is to the greater good of the organization, but also the success of every team member that's coming into the organization. So we've got an unbelievable group of people that are on our onboarding team today, and getting their feedback about pain points and ideas, not for them, but pain points for LOs that are onboarding, because they're seeing the things that could be useful to them or help them or help set them up for success. So the minute I get in a meeting, they're firing off ideas. I mean, that's the thought process. It's not about them. It's about, the whole. It's about making the organization better, the community better, making everybody better. So if you got those ideas, make sure you share them with Caden. Just took over the role. He's going to be taking over, obviously, programming across the organization moving forward. And that goes to strategy, that goes to content, that goes to everything, what time things are happening and whatnot. So last thing I want to hit on when we talk about community is our Level Up sales coaching. So next week, we've got about 20 of our sales coaches, our LOs, branch managers from across the country, are coming down to Dallas for a 2-day boot camp. Renee Rodriguez is leading this effort, and it's all focused on, getting them prepared, getting the team prepared for us to launch the Level Up sales coaching platform. So again, at the beginning of this, I talked a little bit about, what we're doing in operations. So just think about what's happening next 30 days, full transformation in operations, massive change, right? Level Up sales coaching, we're talking about an organizational reprioritization of, having to be in coaching. Sales coaching is what we do. It's not a matter of optionality. We're all going to get better together. These are big changes. And by the way, it's July. It's the busiest time of the year. So, most people would sit there and say, you can't make these changes then. That's crazy. It's no. We're always getting better. We're always changing. There is no to what we do here. We're going to get better. If it makes sense, we're going to get better. So the commitment is 1.62, we're going to get better at operations. We're going to get more scalable. We're going to create the experience at scale that we know our clients deserve and our families deserve. So over time, we can have a consistent home-work life balance, but also client experience. Sales coaching is about the getting better, okay? It's about the accountability. It's a lot of people got rusty 2020, 2021, and in 2022, couldn't even speak to a new realtor, couldn't even prospect. The activities Chad was talking about, that had gone out the window because they were used to it raining. Sales coaching's making sure we stay sharp, making sure that we get better, make sure that we're hearing new ideas, that we understand that, we have never made it. We always can get better. And this group of coaches, I really want to recognize them. I want everybody in the organization to understand they're making a huge sacrifice. A, on a weekly basis, they're going through training leading up to us even launching the program. But B, they're going down to Dallas, or they're giving 2 days to this program, to the coaching. And, there's no big financial upside here for them. We give them a very little incentive to be part of this, but they're focused on their own leadership development. They want to be a better leader. They want to get better. They want to be that standard. But in addition to that, they want to help the organization get better. They want to develop the leaders of tomorrow. And that's what we're all about. We talk about replace yourself. We talk about get better every day. That's all about helping others get better. It's all about creating an environment where everybody around you gets better because of your contributions, but because of what you bring to the table every day. So we say create strong communities, and understand these people are giving it so we can get this program set up for success, just like the business innovation team's doing with 1.62. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of time and effort, a lot of care goes into this. At the end of the day, the vision is big. The experience that we're trying to create is exceptional, and it's all about us winning as a team long-term and best serving our customers. So have a great rest of the day, and talk to you soon.